Okay, so October 5th, trading recap. We're going to jump right into the small caps here. Leading gapper this morning was Nauticus Robotics, KITT. It had a float of 21 million, or almost 22 million, and a market cap of 152 million. So the reason why we're trading and the reason why it was up, it finished the day up 88%. It says Nauticus Robotics announces additional contract award with U.S. Defense Innovation for autonomous amphibious robot. So that's a pretty good catalyst, if I must say, with the U.S. defense team. So here is the issue. If we look on, here's a 5-minute chart. So I didn't trade it too much pre-market, whereas if I did, that would be a big plus because they had some nice moves. So right around almost 9 o'clock this morning, so that'd be 5 a.m. PST, they had the consolidation part with the 13 EMA, and that had a nicer move higher. So that would have been the first trade, looking for a big rip up and then a consolidation and a move higher. So this is where I started watching it around 6 o'clock, or 9 a.m. It was ripping up and it pulled back to the VWAP right before open. And at open, I normally don't like to trade small caps at open or during the open because they normally just sell off and become choppy, which this one extremely was. But I traded it anyways, and I should have taken a loss on it. But I was quite confident in the setup just because it was close to VWAP and it was hugging all of these moving averages and it was keeping up with somewhat of support. So what happened was it came up first. This is a 1-minute chart, so the first 2 minutes in the market were green, and the third I was looking for a breakthrough high of day. So I actually entered, my first entry on it was around 585 right here, and I was looking for an add at 596, 10 cents later, into the break of $6, and then up to like 650 would be a nice exit point. What happened was it flushed all the way back down, and I didn't sell. So why did I didn't sell? Well, I wanted to see if it was going to hold down here, if I could add for more, or if I was going to sell for a loss. So as it ripped right back down and bounced off this line, I waited for a little bit, for a couple of minutes. I added coming into this push for the break of this pivot of 550, and then right for the break of 550, it broke VWAP as well, and it screamed right back up to the upside, and I was stuck in the halt up full size at 589 or 590s, and it opened, and the first print I saw was 620, so I immediately took off 3/4 of my position for a nice win, and then sold. I think my best exit was around 630s, and then I was done with it. After it halted up, after that I didn't care for it. I took my lucky win and I got out. So after that I changed to the SPY. And what we see on the SPY is, I'm going to zoom out. Normally I like to trade the day before. What I mean by that is I take the price action from the day before, yesterday, and I price out all of the support and resistance levels I think that will either keep or be in play for today. So this is a 15-minute chart here, top left of the overall SPY. Bottom left corner is the SPX. So it's still the SPY, but it's just the overall market. So I mapped out in the 15-minute chart any support and resistance levels starting from yesterday's pre-market. So yesterday's pre-market, I noticed that they gapped up and it created this nice descending wedge pattern. It had a resistance here at 373.44s, so I marked that. I also marked support levels at 371s, and then a breakout pivot here at 372.50s, right in the middle. So I thought those were 3 key areas at the lower point, and as we broke out throughout the day, I marked out the high at 378.26, and then I marked out somewhat of a support level during the consolidation periods coming into the close yesterday. Today, I noticed that the overall market was going to gap down. So I kept the levels from yesterday, and I made this support line and this resistance line. So this is the main channel I was looking at this morning. And my basis was, if we break this level, the support level, I'll go short into the next support level and reevaluate. Or if it breaks above, I'll go long for the retest of the highs because we have a bigger gap window today, so then all these little gap windows here, and then a scream higher. So what happened obviously is we will look at the 1 minute chart this morning. So it was quite choppy, and I didn't trade this first opening range, first of all because I'm not very good at trading ranges, and I was trading KITT during this time. So the good thing is I guess you could have gone short off this resistance level. I didn't. I waited for the whole consolidation and the breakdown. So when I started watching, I took my first position on options. I'll switch to my options screen. I took my first trade on options around 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., which is right about here, 10:02. So this is a 2 minute chart. As it broke down this level here, I took my first entry of, 25 contracts. And then as it broke the 373.44 level, I added another 25. So I was in 50 contracts to start. And as all I was looking for was a test of this support level, or this previous resistance level from yesterday. So I'll stay here from yesterday, which was the previous breakout level in the pre-markets and going into the open. So I took my profits and banked, let's see here, looks around $500 or $600. So I sold in this level, and that was that. I didn't really mind trading any of this in this support area because it's just choppy consolidation. There's nothing to it, right? I rather wait another 30-40 minutes for something to consolidate and show me a clear pattern breakout than trying to figure out the trend and trade up and down and just churn commissions and make smaller wins and bigger losses. So I let that all hang out. My next trade was actually at 12. So 12:02, I bought back in. And that is right around here. So, I came back and noticed that this section here, which again was our previous breakout point and support level from yesterday, that it might break out again, which it did. Once it touched VWAP, I actually thought of going short, but I wasn't very confident in it, so I took very small size. I took 10 contracts, and as it broke through VWAP and it didn't hold here, I got spoofed here. I took it short 10 contracts, looking for a breakdown of this level. I would have added if this support level turned into resistance and break back down for a low of day. What happened was I got carried away. I wasn't paying attention, and I saw that it would rip. When I take it short under VWAP here, right around VWAP, my stop would have actually been the flat top at 373.44. But since I wasn't paying attention, when I finally realized with 10 contracts, it was already way up here at 374.30s. So to mitigate, it was around a $450 loss. I wasn't going to accept that because of my mistake. So what I actually ended up doing was I punched it short again. And since I had a very small size with 10 contracts, I punched 90 more contracts to equal 100 contracts short around this level. And then as it broke, I should have stopped out there for a bigger loss. But what I ended up doing was I had more bullets in my ammo box. So as I saw, it would break this level and we would hit this next resistance level. Which would have been the previous high of day, right? So I punched another 50 or 75 contracts short here. And as it came down, my goal wasn't to make a profit, was to just get out flat. That's all it was. What ended up happening was right here, it broke down and I was about 3 pennies or 2 pennies out from being flat on my trade, or even like up $100, holding 125 or 75 contracts, which is a big size. It popped up right here and made a new high, and I stopped out for a $630 loss. You know what? I didn't think anything of it, even though it was $600. I was happier to be out with a $600 loss than to be extremely in the red and give back the profit on the day. What ended up happening was it broke back down, and I actually could have gotten out flat and a little bit profitable, but what it is, I got out. Once I got out there, I flipped long because I had a feeling this thing would bounce off the 13 EMA. It was just setting up nice. The volume here was setting up. It was decreased red volume and then increased green volume on the breakout. So I took the break of 374.50 and I added into the break of 375.16 for the push up. And I actually didn't end up taking this. I was looking at something else. I was away from my computer, but this would have been a nice retest of the EMA and the previous resistance level turned into support, and then add for a move higher. So that's where I'm at on the day. My last trade was at 12.50, which is right around here. So this overall was an hour process. Going short, flipping, or going short and then adding to it, stopping out for a smaller loss, and then flipping long for the realization that it's holding this support and this fresh breakout, and taking that long with bigger size again. So that's all. As you can see, banked 4,500 or almost 4,600 on the day. And where I decided not to trade again was I didn't see this, and I did see the break of high of day 376.08, and I didn't want to take it. I felt like I was going to chase up here. We already got a nice move to the upside, and I was okay with being flat on the day and just watching it from there. It did end up going higher, and as you can see, my next resistance level was 378.30s, and it didn't even come close to that. So I didn't know what to make of it. I'll just put a resistance line there for now. And it came down, and as I watched it come down, we already saw a couple of good hits on the 13 EMA. We were quite extended at this point on the 15 and the 5, so like coming right into this area. So I didn't feel comfortable taking the pullback on the 13 EMA and waiting for the curl back upwards. I think I was thinking at that time we were going to get a bigger pullback, which it was choppy, so I'm happy I didn't trade that. So I watched it come up off the support level. This resistance turned into support. I watched it. I decided not to buy it, and it turned out you could have got a quick scalp, but a harsh jump back, and then again a revert to the upside. But look how it's choppy. See how it's just up, down, up, down, up, down, grinding. It's just churning, grinding upwards to the breakout point. And of course, that would have been another nice long if you take the breakout point with this bull flag here, add into the breakout, and then sell into the next key resistance level there. So that would have been a good trade rather than this trade here. And then just I didn't take any of these trades, didn't feel comfortable. I thought it was overextended, and I didn't really know what to make of it after it held the support or broke back through it. So I just watched, and as you can see, the day ended. We pulled back, we broke under the 13 EMA, rejected here, and a hard reject back to this grindy support area. So overall, happy with my trades. I didn't trade as much as I normally do, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy I didn't take this choppy action, and where we were overextended already between the gap window, I didn't want to flip short or long. So that was my day. Obviously, there was a few mistakes taken on KITT. I obviously should have stopped out once it broke view up the first time for about $1,000 loss, but I was stubborn and I increased my max loss to 5,000. I never hit that. I wasn't even close. I think max was like down 2,000, but unrealized that is. I was confident with this break. As we see in a lot of small caps recently, we see big moves, or they're coming into the open at their highest peak and they just flush. And a lot of them, if their market cap and floats aren't right or they don't have a good news catalyst, they just flush and keep on flushing. This one, however, I liked the market cap and float ratio. I really liked the news catalyst with it. And so I held on to it. I added to my position, and we got the halt up, the resolution I was looking for. And then obviously, if you look into the day, it just went sideways. That's disgusting action, and I'm happy I didn't touch it after that. Honestly, I shouldn't have ever touched it after I took in that loss, or I should have taken that loss, but ended up taking 1,400 profit on the long side, and that. The only realized loss that I took was the $630 loss on the short side. That's all. That was my Wednesday. Pretty smooth action. I'm excited to see for tomorrow where we will end up. It looks like the SPY is just curling over. We might retest this bigger gap window between 376 and 377.30s. If we sell off or gap down tomorrow, that'll be interesting just to see where we are in the SPX overall. You know, more or less flat day, inside day. We did make new highs, so that's true, but we did pull back. So this is just a descending resistance line that I have here. Obviously, we are a long ways away from touching that up past 3800s. I would say next resistance is 3800s, but who am I to say? It looks like we might have a pullback day because this is the third green day in a row, and they're quite significant pushes, high volume. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pullback, especially to fill this gap here from 3704 to 3726. But if we look on a daily chart on the SPY, you can see what that gap fill level would be. So if we increase this as much as we can, I mean, they're all just wicks pre-market, but that gap would be 366 to around 373. So we do have quite a bit of room to the downside, and we can always keep selling off for the next year, but so far it's looking good. So that's all I'm looking for tomorrow, and hopefully I'll go live tomorrow or update my recaps. But yeah, mostly just take some heavy support and resistance that's well respected in the past days, and then find the biggest gap windows and only trade the break of consolidation periods to the up or downside, doesn't matter. That's all. Don't trade this BS unless you're an extreme trader that trades on like the 15-second chart and you're only looking for like 3-cent hits with heavy size. But if you're taking, you know, my max position is like 200 contracts, which is still a big position, but I'm only holding it for 10-20 cents, if that. So, which is nice for breakouts. And just a reminder, these are simulation trades. I am still a student. I am still learning. I still make mistakes. I like to document them here on YouTube just so I can see them in the future, look at my past and see how well I trade, what I could do differently. I can look back tomorrow. I can look back in a year from now. But if you choose to comment and watch on the videos, please let me know if there's anything I'm missing. But hopefully these sim trades turn into real trades rather soon. This is my, 9th or 10th straight green day. Mitigating my risk after a year and a half into trading. I'm doing quite well. I'm happy. Trading options in the overall market has been a new venture for me. I normally trade small caps, but considering the market is just garbage right now, and this is the action of the best top gapper in the overall market, that's untradeable and extremely risky. So there's something we have to trade, and that's the overall market. It's cleaner, better action, better risk to reward, and frankly, a lot more fun right now. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.